Welcome to Garden Sanity. In today's video, I'm showing you just how easy it is to prune your Pugster Butterfly Bush. I'll tell you when to prune, why you should prune, and then show you how and what to prune. But first, if you're new to Pugster Butterfly Bushes, I filmed a video all about their care and growing requirements, including how to plant them, and I'll link to that video at the end of this one. Spring is the best time to prune your Pugsters, and fall is the worst. Especially for butterfly bushes, pruning in fall oftentimes results in the shrub not doing as well through the winter months, especially in the colder hardiness zones for this shrub. So you should prune Pugster butterfly bushes in spring. However, and this is super important, pruning in spring will mean different things to different garden zones. For example, Pugsters are hardy in zones 5 through 9. In the warmer zones, your Pugsters may already have new leaves on them, while in the colder zones, you might not even see any new growth until much later. In general, butterfly bushes, both large and dwarf sizes, are some of the latest shrubs to leaf out in spring. So be patient and wait for the new growth to appear, which is going to help you know exactly where to cut back. Now sometimes, again especially in the colder hardiness zones, these plants might not leaf out until mid-June. Also in colder zones, the new growth may come up directly from the roots underground up through the soil versus having new growth on the actual stems. So please keep this in mind. And remember, if you think your Pugster butterfly bush looks dead, wait, and then wait some more to see some new growth. So you might think a dwarf butterfly bush means no pruning is necessary. But we need to prune these Pugsters so that they'll maintain their dwarf size and remain nice and full. Pugsters have an average mature size of 2 feet tall and 2 feet wide, with some variation depending on variety and how happy they are in your garden. Some grow wider than 2 feet and some grow taller. In fact, I've heard from several gardeners who have Pugster blue butterfly bushes that have grown between 3 and 4 feet high in just one season. Now just remember, Pugsters bloom on new wood, so no worries that by pruning you'll be removing any potential flowers for the current season. So whether your Pugsters have already leafed out, or they still look more like small twigs, or they're really small in size, here's how and what to prune in 5 easy steps. First, prune back the main healthy stems just above nice-looking healthy green buds or leaves. If this is your first time, begin by removing the least amount of stem length first, so you can literally see how much or how little you should remove. Here's an example of what I trimmed off from one of my Pugsters that leafed out already with lots of new growth. You see how little of the healthy, thicker stem I removed? Well, a lot of that top growth got removed as well. The thicker stems will produce more leaves and stems off of it. So losing that top growth is not a big deal because it will quickly be replaced by bushier new growth, which is what you want. Second, remove any spindly stems. Spindly stems are thin stems, usually grown out from a thicker stem. Many times these stems don't survive from year to year, so they may be dead. If they're alive, the growth they will produce won't be nearly as full and lush as the growth that will be produced on those thicker stems that you're keeping. So just how do you tell the difference between a thick and a thin stem? Honestly, the best way is to get down on your knees and really look closely at your Pugster. Look at the stems coming out of the ground versus the stems that are coming off of those other stems. You'll begin to see which ones are thicker and which ones are thinner. Now, if you think your shrub mainly has only thin stems, then don't remove all of them. Instead, just cut them back a bit. You want to wait and see how they develop during the season. So here's an example of a spindly stem. It's not really going to grow any larger or thicker. It might grow longer, but it's not really going to grow any thicker. And that's really what you want, is you want good thick stems. Now see how this is thicker down below, but I just, again, took it off just above some new growth. So if you have a lot of these, I wouldn't say take them all off, because if that's all you have, I'd say let it leaf out a little bit more and see how it does. But if you have a few of these, you can see it's kind of dead on the end. You can take those off. And if you only want to take that off, you can do that too, and just snip it right there. Now, how much do you cut back? Well, my fully leafed out Pugster in the backyard, I cut those back to 7 inches in height. While my tiny Pugsters up in the front yard were cut back to about 4 inches in height. And by the way, these are how they look just 1 week after pruning them, already filling in. You don't have to prune them back to a certain amount of inches. Just know that they're going to be tiny once you're done pruning. Third, remove any dead stems, but only after you confirm they're actually dead. If you gently bend a stem and it breaks apart, it's most likely dead. Look at the inside to see if it's brown or if there's any signs of green inside that stem. Now, if you bend a stem and it bends with you, it's alive. You can also gently scrape the side of a stem with your fingernail or pruners to see if there's green just inside the outer coating. Remember, when in doubt whether a stem is alive or not, just wait and leave it. It could just be slow to leaf out. Now, the fourth step is, after cutting your Pugster back, you want to very gently clean up around the base of the shrub. And I say very gently because it's quite possible you'll see new growth that's coming up from the soil, and you don't want to accidentally remove those new leaves and stems. And the fifth thing, the last thing to do, is fertilize, although it isn't completely necessary if you have good soil. Pugsters don't require fertilizer, but adding a slow-release organic one is okay to do. Now, I use Plant Tone by Espoma. I just put a little around the drip line, work it into the soil, and then water it in, or usually I like to let Mother Nature just do the watering for me. Although I fertilize my tiny Pugsters in the front yard, I skip the fertilizer in the backyard because they're already so full and lush. So to review, you want your Pugsters to keep their healthy, thicker stems, possible new growth coming up through the soil, and you want to fertilize if you feel that you need them to be fertilized. You want to remove any dead stems and any spindly stems. Unless that's all you have, then keep those for the season and see how they develop. So now your Pugsters are all set for the coming season. Watch this video next, which is all about planting care and growing requirements for this beautiful dwarf shrub. And until next time, happy gardening.